5 top most basic qualities your relationship drastically needs. Hi friends, welcome to Marriage Realities, a comprehensive relationship channel. Today's video is all about the top 5 basic qualities your relationship drastically needs. Your relationship with your spouse is crucial to the happiness in your life. Yes, the status of your relationship decides the status of happiness in your life. When you enjoy a good relationship with your spouse, you feel absolutely blessed in your life. On the other hand, when your relationship with your spouse is always tense and quarrelsome, you feel cursed in your life. Though most of you understand the importance of marriage in your life, you often find it impossible to enjoy compatibility with your spouse. What could be the reasons behind your lack of compatibility you constantly face in your relationship? It is because your relationship lacks the basic qualities it needs to make it an enjoyable experience to you. Your relationship with your spouse cannot do without these qualities. Shall we now have a peep into the top 5 qualities your marriage cannot do without? The number 1 basic need of your relationship is understanding that your spouse will always retain his or her individuality. Your marriage will always be a life of adjustments, adapting and overlooking mistakes. Your spouse will adjust and adapt to you. It is because your spouse understands that without adjustments, his or her relationship with you will not work. Your spouse will also adjust to your mood swings. Your spouse will adapt to your different way of looking at life. Your spouse will overlook your mistakes. But your spouse will never change his or her individuality to accommodate your thoughts and views. Your spouse will retain his or her individuality always and every time. You must understand that your spouse will always be what he or she was born as. Do not expect your spouse to forego his or her individuality. Feeling that you can love your spouse only if he or she could change himself or herself to behave in a way you like is a grave relationship blunder you should never indulge in. The number 2 basic need of your relationship is understanding that you're accountable and responsible. Most of you make the common relationship blunder of making your spouse accountable and responsible for any untoward problem occurring in your married life. You always think that the duties of your family are the responsibility of your spouse alone. You're wrong if you think so. Your family duties will always be the responsibility of you and your spouse. Every family problem will be a mutual commitment between you. Every financial issue in your family needs your participation also. So do not accuse your spouse to be the only reason behind any of your family issues. Do not also isolate yourself from any family problems as though you have nothing to do with it. When you withhold your participation in any of the issues that crops in your married life, it will only create tons of resentment and anger in your relationship. The number 3 basic need of your relationship is sharing household work and looking after your children. You cannot stay away from sharing household chores or looking after your children. Your children are mutual responsibility of you and your spouse. Your household chores also need mutual sharing between you. Your children should be taken care of by both you and your spouse. Both are responsible towards each and every aspect of your family. Sharing household chores and family responsibilities with willingness helps your relationship in many ways. The number 4 basic need of your relationship is keeping your family problems private. Your relationship with your spouse is so personal to you that you should never allow others to interfere into it. Only you and your spouse know what is happening between you. Only you and your spouse know what should be done to make your relationship work. You might face numerous relationship issues with your spouse. You might be angry with your spouse for many things in your married life. They are all personal issues between you and your spouse. Your parents, friends or relatives are only third party in any of your family issues or problems. They can have no say in any of your relationship issues. If you go to your parents or your friends for solving your relationship issues, it will only create needless misunderstanding with your spouse. When you discuss your personal life with others, every issue or problem between you becomes an open secret. Everyone worth his name will be discussing your family problems so personal between you. Do not give room to your family life to be converted into a topic to be gossiped, analyzed and criticized. It is always advisable to resolve whatever issues that might arise between you and your spouse, between yourself. The number 5 basic need of your relationship is personal space. You might love your spouse to the skies. Your spouse also might love you to the skies. But this does not prevent both from the need for a personal space. It is because personal space is the much needed distance you must maintain in a relationship so that your spouse does not feel suffocated and jailed living with you. Though your spouse loves you, he or she also drastically needs his or her personal space. You too need your own personal space. This craving for your own personal space does not mean lack of love in your relationship. It also does not signify that both are drifting away from each other. Personal space is in actual fact a simple love technique which makes your relationship enjoyable for both. Allowing a spouse his or her personal space is a breather he or she drastically needs. You or your spouse cannot be spending 24/7 together fulfilling family duties without any space for yourself. If you're forced to give all your 24 hours to family duties and responsibilities, the individual in you revolts. Enjoying your own personal space without the interference of your spouse or your children makes you satisfy the individual in you. Such simple techniques to improve your relationship with your spouse, aren't they? But most of you ignore these relationship techniques as not that important. When you continuously ignore these basic relationship needs, your married life will not be enjoyable to you. Did this video make you understand the basic needs of your relationship to make it an enjoyable experience to you? Marriage Realities will have many such relationship eye-openers. Subscribe to my channel to understand your marriage in a new light. Press the bell icon for updates about my latest relationship videos. Make love forever until death do us part your relationship goal.